Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Don't expect much from me in conversation.
I think we're all
we
kind of.
never
I'm there
do.
kind of too.
This is going to be a great episode, guys. I can already feel the energy's good here.
I just kind of meant like you were tweeting at like what 5 a.m. today how you're exhausted. So I was like, this has been a long day.
Yeah, 2 a.m. I've been up.
But we're recording.
Yeah, this is all staying in. It's all griping about how tired we are and how this episode's going to suck.
Welcome back.
Our energy shit. Oh, I'm the host. Oh crap! Hey, everybody. Hey, it's I like to do that in a way that now Yusuf can't edit it out. He has to leave in the part about how I think this is a terrible recording session already. We're just having a bad time, guys. But let's stick with it. Let's roll with it. That's the way of the world. Sometimes terrible shit happens, and you just got to keep on keeping on. And that's how we do here at Flyover State of Film. And I'm here with my boys, my special men. I dream about them every day. TJ, Yusuf, and Joe in reverse order of importance. So, guys, hey, everybody, tell us.
Like in the doobly-doo and the thing that appears now here for us.
Oh, yeah, right. Somebody put some graphics here. It's very nice.
Boom.
Yeah. So, Minnie, we didn't. There's nothing really in the news. Oh, no, you know what? Let's talk about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, guys. I mean, everybody.
All right, guys, it was a good run.
Let's make some really hard opinions about that.
We had a good run. I think almost nearing on 4 years with you guys. It's been really special. But
how about instead of torpedoing the whole podcast, instead of that, let's just talk about like summer movies that are coming out that we might be excited about. How about that?
DC League of Super Pets.
That actually looks really adorable, and I laughed my ass off when I saw the trailer for it.
It doesn't look bad. I'm just getting to the point where it's like, you've done too much when I'm starting to get burned out on comic book shit. When I'm like, all right, calm down.
It looks like when I think I saw it, it weirdly played in front of the Batman trailer in theaters, and it was one of those things where I was like, oh, this looks cute for a kid. And that's all it's for like a kid between 5 and 9, probably.
Yeah.
And this is the superhero stuff they're going to get and not the Batman. Great. And I was like, cool. I don't have to watch it, but it looks cute.
I'll tell you what, it looks 1,000 times better than there's some kind of like kung fu dog movie, animated movie also coming out. And it looks like a movie that was made like 10 years ago and has been sitting on a shelf waiting for and then they just dusted it off and hired a new voice cast.
I was going to say that old voice cast is probably like, we're retired. We're not doing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like they pulled out this movie that was like 3/4 of the way finished, spent $10 and hired Sam Jackson, and now they're gonna release the shit in the theater.
I was gonna ask because even though he's a fucking hack and sucks at comedy and life in general, has anyone seen the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Yeah, John Mulaney.
Yeah, John Mulaney has unfortunately proven to suck pretty hard. That's a shame. I still think he had some funny bits back in the day, but he seems like a real choke.
I'm pro Mulaney still.
I've seen him live quite a few times.
The big thing was that they let it. He platformed Chappelle here in Ohio, and people were mad about.
Take his shirt off. I don't want to see it. I like comedians that get naked, take their shirts off,
talk about them for all hour and a half in any conversation.
That's fair. That is the mark of comedy.
Peak.
fine.
No, I liked Chippendale because it was like I saw the Lonely Island and their writing shining through the whole fucking thing. I was like, great. I'm glad they were allowed to do what they wanted to do and give Tim
Unlike
Robinson
TJ,
work.
although I do think Mulaney is maybe a trash person, I do think he's got a pretty good comedy mind, and I like Andy Samberg, and you can tell that like the writing was on point for this, and it was clever and funny and well made.
Was this in the theater? Would you guys go watch in the theater?
I might have gone to see this in the theater. You know,
It's a Disney Plus release though.
Oh, okay.
The Chippendale Rescue Rangers. It's you know what's weird? Did you I know Yusuf did. I mean, there's no like spoiler for it. Did you kind of guys get picked up? I think they're trying to backdoor a Who Framed Roger Rabbit with the detective. Because at the end, when she was like, "I'm gonna start my own agency," I was like, "That's the Roger Rabbit agency."
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, Roger Rabbit's in the movie. It's unclear if this is supposed to be the universe where Roger Rabbit took place, or that Roger Rabbit is the actor who played Roger Rabbit in the movie.
I think it's the actor.
That's all left very ambiguous.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Marsh is in there.
Yeah, they did get a lot of great cameos and licensed out a bunch of. It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. The ugly Sonic was pure, and it was just because it was Tim Robinson.
Voiced by Tim Robinson, yeah. Of course, Harrison was very excited to see Ugly Sonic.
I saw a meme of being like, "I used to be a piece of shit, but people could change," and it was the two side by side.
You think does the baby know that people can change?
That's been picked up for season 3.
That's something.
Supposedly, yeah.
That's something I saw in the summer.
It might be a minute till we get that though, because I know he's working on another show. So I'm not going to let myself get excited that it's coming out anytime soon.
I don't think so. So we also got coming out this summer, just to rattle another one off in the same kind of vein. I mean, like I keep forgetting a Bob's Burger movie's coming out, but like that could be really
this week. That's coming out. I mean,
yeah.
Well, maybe the day this drops, it's out.
My wife is very excited about that one.
Yeah, I love that. That's probably my favorite part.
Bob's Burgers is a show that like I watched some of, probably the first 3 or 4 seasons. Like I think I watched back, and then kind of just stopped following. You know, I don't watch a lot of TV, like network television. That doesn't break through.
Well,
it's consistently good.
Yeah, and the pop culture references, like the first couple seasons, are great. Like the E.T. episode, the Goonies episode. That's what locked me in. Then just like Brian said, they kind of falls off. So like if it's on, I'll watch it. But I will.
I don't doubt that it's good. I just haven't watched it myself.
Yeah.
What is does everyone, and because I'm just kind of going through a list, does anyone have like a number 1 off the top of their heads?
Something they're most excited for?
Yeah.
Before Brian steals it, but he can also obviously
Spiderhead.
I don't know what that is. Go ahead, TJ. We were both happy about it.
Yeah. And I have a thing with watching animals kill and eat people on film, minus the last few newer ones we've gotten. But Beast with Idris Elba, the gentleman. Help me out.
Sharlto Copley.
And it's just your old school, feels like late 90s, even mid, to where it's just a guy, his 2 daughters,
you gotta pick one. You gotta pick. Cannot be mid or late.
I'll tell you what, it definitely made me want to watch.
Go
watch The Ghost in the Darkness, one of my favorite lion attack movies. And it had
DJ, stop pussyfooting. Pick. Is it mid 90s or late 90s?
It's probably feels late 90s, more like a Deep Blue Sea.
Is it Jonah Hill or Anthony Hopkins?
See, I feel like it feels even maybe a little bit more serious than a Deep Blue Sea. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely has like that where you have to have the reason why they're doing what they're doing. I guess going on like a safari trip because I believe they lost their mother in the trailer, so the dad has to reconnect with the daughters. And if you just add that little bit of emotional element to it, and then have everything else be pretty crazy, which it seems with a serial killing lion, I'm always.
I love a good monster movie. This is another chance for me to plug Burning Bright. If anybody's ever seen Burning Bright, that's a really fun movie about a girl who gets trapped in a house with a tiger during a hurricane.
Oh, I'll mess with that. I like that. Is that like an Australian movie or something?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I like that. That's a great idea.
I did an episode of The Bunker on it, though.
Yusuf, do you got a number 1?
Yeah, I read it off this list, and I forgot the name. It's called Crimes of the Future.
That's fake.
David Cronenberg. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Starring Kristen Stewart and Viggo Mortensen. I've been excited all year. I did not just read it off this fucking list. I
have definitely been thinking about this one, man.
Following all year. Yeah, I mean, anything David Cronenberg, I'll fuck with it.
I tried to watch Eraserhead once, and it was hard.
That's
David Lynch.
That's David Lynch, sir.
All right, go with
Cronenberg did The Fly.
Your film Twitter card has been revoked.
I don't do movie trivia. What the fuck do you want?
Try Videodrome.
Who?
Videodrome?
I think you would get a kick out of
sure.
Videodrome.
Yeah, is he the one with the Reanimator? Is that him too?
No. But Reanimator is good.
Yeah, same field. Reanimator is a lot goofier than everything we said. Not David Lynch. David Cronenberg is a lot more serious. But
obviously the big one is the Jeff Goldblum Fly.
Yeah, that's an amazing.
That's everybody's big Cronenberg touch.
While we're in horror, though, because Yusuf, I'm excited for that Cronenberg too. The Black Phone.
That was on my list.
Ethan Hawke, indie horror. I'm in.
Yeah, I feel like I saw the trailer for this forever ago. It's one of those ones that's getting delayed.
Yeah, I think it was delayed in 2000.
It doesn't matter because like everybody who's young in it probably dies, so you don't have to worry about like the cast growing up and having to come back in sequels or whatever. So you can just delay it inevitably. So it's a good time to release it.
Do you think it's gonna be sequels? If they're not gonna kill him in the end?
No, he can come back. He's the bad guy.
The obvious one also. The other obvious one is Nope.
I was gonna say I want to see Nope, but I want to see it even more so I can stop seeing the trailer before every movie I go to see. Like, oh my god! Either make a new trailer and show me that.
That marketing is gonna ramp up once the 1st of July hits or
it's getting kind of brutal out there.
I'm just going through the list while we're.
Okay, well, I got a couple, Joe. Why don't you stop just reading off IMDb?
All right, man. It's not. It's editorial column of Rotten Tomatoes.
Like, I actually look things up and have a plan.
I'm not just
reading a list from the internet.
I have a list. The Black Phone was on that list, and I realized we needed more content.
Yeah, we do. So there's a movie coming out that I didn't hear about till I didn't know anything about till I started researching this, but it's called Resurrection. It's starring Rebecca Hall and Tim Roth, and it looks like she is single, living with her daughter, and maybe Tim Roth is a former lover who was abusive, and she got away from him, but now he's showing up in her life, and it's not just that it immediately sends her into full on freak out mode, and it looks like maybe she might be planning to do some violence against him because she thinks he's doing something, but it's unclear whether he is or isn't doing something. It looked very good. And after The Night House, I mean, I think Rebecca Hall can clearly carry a movie by herself.
Sounds
after Christine.
It sounds a little bit like J-Lo's Enough.
Well, I'm hoping it'll be a little bit better than that.
According to this list, The Bride is coming out, so that's the prequel to Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2.
Right? That can't be real. That can't be real. That's not a.
Let's go The Bride.
I also saw. Okay, so when I went to see Men, Yusuf, you saw Men. Maybe you saw this trailer too. Did you see a trailer for something called? Did you see a trailer for something called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?
Yeah, that looked fun.
It looked all right, even despite having Pete Davidson in it. It looked like a fun horror.
Oh yeah, I did see it. It's like a.
Oh, it's an A24 one. I saw.
It's like a party game type thing in a creepy house that turns real. But it looked like it could be fun. And I have one more, and I can't believe nobody mentioned
the girl from Chiba Baby is in that movie. If you haven't seen Chiba Baby,
well, guys, we could watch the Father of the Bride remake coming to HBO Max.
You should watch the original Father of the Bride, though. But no, we got a trailer for this last week. George Miller, 3,000 Years of Longing.
Yeah.
I think that looks rad.
I was excited for it until I read it's a Netflix movie, and I was like,
yeah, but like that Ryan Gosling movie, that looks crap too.
Oh, The Gray Man.
That looked good. The Gray Man.
Russo's.
I don't judge. Just Netflix movies can be bad, but they're not bad just because they're on Netflix. Netflix had plenty of decent movies on there. You got to watch out for the ones that they made themselves. But a lot of times, good filmmakers and production companies make a movie and then they sell it to Netflix. And a lot of times, those are very good.
like 12 fucking episodes of Stranger Things being all an hour and a half to 2.5 hours long. It's a TV show. This is unnecessary.
Yeah, there's no way. I'm going to be shocked if they have enough story for that. One of my biggest complaints of those Disney shows has been like, because it's so much garbagey filler. I've liked Stranger Things, I have, but I'll be very shocked if they can fill that much time. Like
that's runtime. There's no one that's even an hour on runtime.
I didn't know it was out yet.
It's coming out, I think, this week.
I didn't see the last season. I'm not gonna watch that shit.
But it's a movie every time.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna dedicate an hour and a half to just filler.
Yeah. And then I think the big one also that I think we could all get excited for is the new Thor. I mean, they really haven't missed with the Taika Waititi at the helm. So I haven't watched the new trailer though.
I kind of left that one off. Just I feel like it goes without saying it's like the best looking Marvel movie this year. You know, so.
So I don't know.
Although I am still going to be a Natalie Portman truther. That's not Natalie Portman. That's Natalie Portman's head on someone else's body. They're just like digitized. There's no way. Unless I see some red carpet photos where Natalie Portman is all of a sudden ripped, I'm not going to believe that's her body. I'm sorry.
Topic.
It's topic time.
Topic time.
What?
What topic do you want to go to?
I don't know. You got to talk into the mic though.
You do.
What topic do you want to do?
Joe's then. Why
okay, great. So we chose this week what I would consider a forgotten action movie in Equilibrium. That's what we're talking about. Action, but I mean that's what it's billed as, and
no, it's fair.
So I just wanted to have a kind of a general conversation of forgotten action movies, and I do think like you could use that air quote for some of them because I feel like the one of my two that I have picked is more of a thriller. But let's start with Yusuf. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of know. I struggled a little with it because I guess like
you forgotten
by who, or like especially like in the circles that we tend to run in, we tend to talk about
nothing gets forgotten. There's always a fan. You can always find a fan of anything, you know.
Yeah, but I think that's why you broaden the net a little bit to like thrillers too.
But I picked the one that my dad's favorite movie, the one of the few that he did not pass out while watching it, so it has to be like in his
dad. Yeah. Sometimes you're just tired.
Yeah. He always passes out while watching movies. MVP. Ronin. 1988. Robert De Niro. John from The Professional. Sean Bean. Stellan Skarsgård.
I would put that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun heist, but with a twist. Like they're just a bunch of mercenaries that are kind of like grouped together. They don't know each other, and then they have to steal this mysterious briefcase, which is a little MacGuffin of the entire movie, and twists and betrayals and shotguns and pistols, and there's a lot of good action car chases, which is praised for its realism, meaning like it's just not that great, but it's a good car chase. It's a fun movie. I've always every now and again I see it. I will see the poster. I think it's on HBO Max or Hulu, one of the two. And every time I scroll past it, I go like, "Ooh, I should hit play." That's my dad's favorite movie, and I never do. So maybe it is forgotten because I bet a lot of people just pass through Robert De Niro's with a gun, and you go like, "I don't want to watch it."
That could be anything. That could be 88
That's Ronin,
minutes.
baby.
That could be.
Hey, 88 minutes. If you want to see some of the funniest running in your life, watch Pacino try to run through all of 88 minutes.
Talk about running, man. Christian Bale had to run like a fucking marathon in that movie, in that sequence. When we'll get to it, but I was like, I could not get it out of my head. Like he just ran the entire fucking movie. But yeah, running is fun. Give it a shot. It's very it's a fast bolt down the middle. Like it's just like you know exactly what you're gonna get, and you get it, and you're like, okay, that was cool. DJ.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we talked about this when we did Drunken Master, but it's one of those ones that I would always see every Sunday or Saturday morning, and it's probably my favorite Jackie Chan movie of all time. And I don't even know if it's necessarily forgotten.
It's not, because I remember all of them.
A Bronx Tale. A Bronx
Rumble
Tale.
in the Bronx.
I mean,
Rumble in the Bronx. Jeez.
A Bronx Tale. It would be awesome if Jackie Chan was in a Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Like all dramatic, like he's not doing any martial arts. He's just like
He's playing
with a horrible
he's
Brooklyn.
playing Coligio. Hey, always do the door test. You know, if she opens the door for you, she's the one. Don't open. And Jackie Chan's like, should I jump through the window? And he's like, no.
But just the whole scene with him in the hover boat and with the giant like novelty sword that if any person that wasn't Jackie Chan in the movie just stuck their foot in between the broken door of a Lamborghini to break that, their leg would have went completely through the body.
Shattered.
Yeah. But it's the classic, like, even the stupid scene where he stops the entire gang in the very beginning in the little supermarket. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. And then it's the classic also where you get the end credit Jackie Chan bloopers. And some of the
classics. When he breaks his foot on
even though it's like obviously came after so many Jackie Chan classics, I think especially for people like me and TJ who are a certain age-ish, when it hit, this was like the first big American Jackie Chan movie.
Is that the one where he
has the nostalgia factor too of like it's like my first. It might not be the best Jackie Chan, but it's my first. You always remember your first, you know.
I mean, it's definitely a bridge scene, and it's crazy because it's dubbed. Like the entire thing is dubbed, even with the actors' voices. But even the American actors in it are dubbed over, just so it doesn't sound.
But that's a huge trend because it was a Chinese production that was put in America. But yeah, that's a very big.
What's the
almost
one?
Almost all of his '90s movies, but the one like that movie is just banger after banger, like, and it has like this emotional core. You know, Jackie always likes to try. I mean, he's a good actor. He's not a bad actor.
Kid with the Game Gear, there's no game in it all the time.
And the bottles just breaking.
The
bottle breaking.
Oh, the bottle scene is brutal.
Like, that's so
that
good.
Was just classic.
And when he goes to the gangster's lair, and he's like, "Is this what you want?" Like after kicking everybody's asses, like, what the fuck is your life?
He basically shames them into being like better humans. He beats them up so bad they change their lives.
It's so
funny. Bouncy ball truck that gets me every time. Like, is he gonna get out? Is he gonna get out?
Yeah.
Because you know he probably did that stunt. And it was like, well, if I fall, I'll land on a bunch of bouncy balls. Hopefully.
That's the one? That is the one where the guy in the motorcycle got fucked up, right? Like he.
Yeah. And I think you see it.
Yeah.
You see the dogs squirt out and Mac and me, or squirt out when they're running after him. They just all slide out. You're like, I don't think a couple of those made it out of it.
A real Milo and Otis situation going on.
What about you, Brian?
You know, again, I hate to be a broken record, and if people just would have watched my show, I wouldn't have had to keep bringing up things that I've already talked about on the bunker. But I was going to talk about...
That was like 9 years ago, Brian.
I don't care. They should have watched it. I'm going to talk about William Friedkin movie, Benicio del Toro, Tommy Lee Jones. I'm talking about The Hunted.
I haven't The Hunted,
yeah. Hunted is such a good a movie Yusuf's dad probably would really like.
He fell asleep. My mom and I loved it though.
It's got good action, but it's also like a good drama about like PTSD and the horrors of war, and you know, like how war breaks you and whatever, and it's just got some really great like hand-to-hand stuff, knife fighting, best Tommy Lee Jones knife fighting since Under Siege, you know?
And it's like 80 minutes.
It's a super tight movie.
Speaking of Steven Seagal, my pick, Half Past Dead with Steven Seagal and Ja Rule.
That was like at the time, because I was even thinking about
that was like late.
It's not even
night.
one of the good Seagals.
This movie I shouldn't be watching it, and like saw
that
it.
One's forgotten
it's
for
shit.
A reason.
It's fucking shit. That should be forgotten.
That's up there with like Cradle for the Grave. That should have been a pick
Like
for musician.
Exit wounds.
Or like Simon
Exit
Says,
Romeo
I
must die.
in a
double
blockbuster.
team.
Two dudes recommending exit
Is that
wounds
like-
to each other is incredible.
That's got to be after the Fast and the Furious, right? The Monica and all that.
What? Half Past Dead?
Ja Rule, yeah. Because I don't think he'd get a
Probably
lead.
after the first one, yeah, he was only in the first
maybe
one.
a year after. It's not like I'm gonna look it up. That movie's that's one I've always wanted to like.
How did Ja Rule fumble that bag, man? Ludacris came out of nowhere and
Because he
stole
literally
it.
tried to get that bag too much, and they were
'Cause I
like,
think-
"Nope, you're not worth it. We'll hire someone else." Bye.
Luda.
And Tyrese cheese.
So Ja Rule. So this is 2002. Oh, it's a Morris Chet. Yeah, it's a year after.
Is
So
Dom now Puerto Rican or half Puerto Rican because Rita Moreno is playing his grandmother?
that would
Well,
be.
that would want to get Puerto
Well,
Rican.
sister
Or
had a
Puerto
bag.
Rican, that's what it said.
You could assume so.
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah, quarter.
Yeah,
Puerto
there's a Mets pitcher that calls himself the Puerto Rican, Seth Lugo.
Get your
Oh,
fucking
God.
baseball out of our
Brian
Nice,
brought
I've had
it
to
up.
hear Joe talk about baseball already tonight, guys. 2 times.
to you.
I just threw this thriller on my like an honorable mention. It's not really an action movie, but I always loved it. Murder at 1600
Oh,
with
yeah.
Wesley
Oh,
Snipes.
okay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
This segment
passenger.
just, I think we should change the name of the segment to Dad Movies, because we've got a lot of dad movies.
What was the?
Oh, you know what's a good one?
The passenger one. The passenger in the. What's the name? Passenger what?
57? Passenger
Yeah.
57.
That's a fun one.
Talking about the Wesley
Snipes.
Snipes? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an awesome movie.
Yeah, that's a,
Oh, it's
that's
been a-
definitely forgotten.
100%.
Nobody
it's
talks
weird.
about that movie.
The only modern action I could think of is like that's truly forgotten was that Hardcore Henry, that POV.
I just watched that with Harrison the other day. It's good. It's the same guy, the guy who directed Nobody. It's the same director who did Nobody with the Bob Odenkirk movie.
Oh, really?
It's really good, and it's really creative and interesting if you can like. But I'm not gonna lie, it gets hard to watch. You're like,
Is it hardcore?
no, it just makes me motion sick.
I legit passed out in the. That's literally one, maybe 2 movies I've ever passed out in the theater watching, and that's one of them.
That's
I
what
just
made
remember
reviewing.
like fighting, like just going like. I'm sorry, I open and there's like different sequence going, and I was like, what the fuck is this? But there's like alien.
Like I said, I enjoy it, but you're not wrong about it being forgotten. It's a gimmick. That's the thing, because it's just really a gimmick. And if the gimmick doesn't catch on, then people won't remember. So,
Yeah.
but it was well done. It's like a creative movie that was like well executed and whatever.
It just felt like a video game that somebody else was playing, and I just kept.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Nobody is much better.
Yeah,
Nobody's fantastic. So
I'll tell you a recent one that I can't.
It's in HBO Max. DJ, watch it.
I feel like a recent one that's been forgotten that I feel like is badass, but did not get the play, and for some reason, like, I want to say it's misogyny, but Atomic Blonde, Charlize Theron.
that was cool.
Yeah, I think people brushed it off as like, oh, it's just girl John Wick. It's like, yeah, but why can't we have a girl John Wick? That sounds awesome. Like,
it's just another action movie. No one said
it's just a badass action movie. She kicks a lot of ass in it. It's got a weird, twisty 80s fucking spy plot with a bunch of people backstabbing each other and shit.
Like, no one in the 80s when like Stallone and Schwarzenegger were going tit for tat would be like, that's just some Italian action. That's just an Italian version of a Schwarzenegger film.
Now that you mentioned it,
I don't know. Maybe it's my rose tinted glasses, but like back then, people weren't this fucking obsessed with.
No, you're right.
It has to be the best. Everything is like the best.
Well, that's the thing too.
And
like, if it's not
watched,
groundbreaking, if it doesn't absolutely change the game, then it's not worth existing.
Yeah, why couldn't we just get an Avatar sequel?
I watched 2012. I watched Men, and it was fine. It was good. It was okay. And I moved on.
I felt about it.
Yeah, I saw so many takes. I still don't know what it's about.
Best Alex Garland movie out of 3.
I still don't know what it's about, but I saw so many takes by just like influence being like, people are so upset. I'm like, I don't think anyone's upset about this movie. It's
pretty straightforward movie.
Yeah.
It's a very straightforward movie.
Like, man,
But he
it's everything.
continues to be the MVP though of weird fucking creature designs. I really want
Yeah.
I want to read his notes.
I'll be surprised if that new Cronenberg movie does something as wild as the end of Men.
Yeah. I wanna read like the text or the emails that he sends like his VX team, and I want this.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Any
Topic.
Any juice off this lemon? No.
That was a good topic. Good job, guys.
All
you know
right.
what? I take back what I said about the energy of this episode. It's pretty good.
It's good.
All right. Let's
Yusuf,
bring it down.
let's do your topic because it goes right into
other things. All right. So we are talking about action stars that we never bought into. So I don't know. This just came to me. I don't remember the movie that I was watching, and I don't remember the person. Oh, I was watching the Red Letter Media Bruce Willis episode, and all the clips and all that shit that they were showing. I was like, God damn, Bruce Willis! I cannot buy into Bruce being an action star anymore. Like he's just like barely there.
Not anymore. Definitely not.
Yeah. And then I thought about what actor even is in his prime have you watched an action movie of, and you were like, yeah, you're not an action movie star at all. I'm not buying this shit. Brian, how you start?
Oh, I mean, I thought this was going to be more difficult, and then I looked at the biggest franchise on the planet and realized that the answer is Vin Diesel. Like, I never once have bought Vin Diesel as a tough guy. Like, I think I watched some behind-the-scenes stuff on Chronicles of Riddick, and you can just tell that he's very... And this isn't an insult or anything, but you can tell that he's very much like a thespian. He's like a theatrical guy. He's into, like, the art and the, like, and he's
a D&D nerd.
Yeah, he's a D&D guy, exactly. And it's
and I mean that not in a disrespectful way, because someone like Jason Momoa is a D&D nerd too. But that's
what I'm saying is I can still buy Jason Momoa. There's something about Vin Diesel that I've never, and I've liked him in action movies. Like I was talking about the Riddick. I actually do like the Riddick movies. That's pretty much the only Vin Diesel franchise I ever cared about.
Are you like A Man Apart?
Yeah, I did not like A Man Apart.
The Man Apart features one of the funniest.
I love The Man Apart.
It features one of the funniest shots to me ever in the movies. He's depressed about his wife's death. He's sitting on a rock, a giant rock, and the camera pans in. I think he has a little cigarette in his mouth, and instead of drinking a big bottle of Jack or something to be dramatic, he takes out the world's tiniest airplane bottle and shoots it back. And then the camera cuts to the next montage, and it's so silly because of they could have just been hey man, it'd be more effective to drink this bottle of Jack or whatever.
Or even a brown bag, just a brown bag with a undisclosed liquor inside.
It was a airplane bottle, this smaller than about the same size or smaller than my penis. It was.
I feel that's huge. So the reason why I don't buy Diesel anymore, I maybe had bought him when Chronicles of Riddick came out because I did enjoy that movie. It's just he became a meme. He became he
bought into himself too much, and then the whole idea of when you heard the stuff about Fast and Furious, how they had it in their contract that they can't be beat, or they have to, you know what I mean? Him and The Rock have to land the same number of punches or whatever, and it's just so if you're buying into your own machismo that much, but you're not a real life tough guy, get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's how the original wasn't good at all, and then I think for House Game 8 I watched the Triple X sequel, Sandor Cage. That's how that felt. Vin Diesel's
third one, right?
Yeah, it was Vin Diesel's vanity project times 12. That movie,
yeah,
and
it was I watched that one because it had Donnie Yen in it. I remember.
Yes, and someone like Donnie Yen was enjoyable, but
it's 50 years old and skateboarding, trying to look cool.
Exactly. Radical dude. I don't know, the idea of taking off your fur coat to reveal all your broy tats and stuff. It's just
that's a great
out of its era.
I went more in a different route as I normally would. Just someone who they tried to put in action movies at first, and I guess he's not as much of an actor, but John Cena, when they tried to put him in that
yeah.
the Marine, and I think a string of these WWE action films,
The
never
Marine.
even
Yeah.
even not an action movie, but when he tries to play an action character, he plays Jules's brother on Psych. Because Psych was a USA show, a lot of like WWE people made can't guess.
Yeah, I remember. Like, I think Edge was on there a bunch of times.
Yeah, John Cena showed up as but they used him as like he showed up literally as a Marine and tried to be like more of an action star within.
That's when his personality switched to the WWE too, because he did the whole like white rapper thing. He did the breathe, and all of a sudden he's saluting like every
he's
time.
Mr. Patriotism. He's like,
and like it's weird because the Marine I think has like 12 movies that we
The Miz.
wheel one day. Someone
he put other WWE. They just like started swapping in other.
Oh shit!
Guys, right? The
Miz is the one that took over. I think he did like.
I think there's maybe a couple other guys did them too. It might not even just be the Miz.
But I do respect some of them with Cena though, where as someone with a career, instead of being like, well, let me keep trying to be like The Rock and do more action movies till I get it right, he pivoted and did comedies, and he's great in all of his comedies that he's in, or at least.
And I think that's allowed him to then he can do more physical stuff in comedies, which is like when you get like the Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. It's like, okay, now we can use his size, his physicality, and you know.
So, but that was mine. I have some others on here I'll save, but like that was one where like they really wanted that one to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is kind of a hot take, and I guess you can argue him. Like most of his movies that are action, he doesn't necessarily do too much action until he did one and a sequel of one, and then you can also argue that one of these movies is pretty good. Denzel Washington.
Oh,
that is a hot take. That is spicy.
Yeah, he's great in Equalizer.
Yeah, but he does Equalizer 2. He has the Book of Eli, which is like him doing the whole full-on action thing. And the rest of them are kind of like acting. Like Training Day isn't necessarily an action movie.
Yeah, Man on Fire is more, kind of like a...
But even like, I want you to just, at that point, either pick it to be a dramatic thriller or an action movie, because I just don't think it really matches. Like, you're going to have him hit the lines he has to do, but then him doing a lot of the action.
You know what?
For me,
I'll say this.
It's like I buy Denzel as like a super intense guy, but like when they try to make him a tough guy is when it's like, you know, I see him as an intense guy who can be really dangerous and stuff, but when they're trying to make him like a brute, you know, I mean, I don't see Denzel
talking about that's him in
the man
Out of Time.
Two Guns, Safe House.
Oh yeah, Two Guns, shit, with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, right? Safe House, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but then even that one, like, it's like
Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, the remake, which was actually a pretty good remake. He doesn't play the action star in it.
Man, I can't remember. Virtuosity.
Him and John
That's
Travolta.
the one that I'm trying to remember.
Virtuosity was Russell Crowe.
And I'm not saying it's just he's bad at it at all. It's just for me, I just can't see it, and I've never have been able to. The one movie I'll give him a pass in is A Man Apart, but like they do that thing where it's obviously a huge wide shot and a lot of extensive action scenes. So obviously it's body double. But
I think his most forgotten role though would be something like Out of Time.
Oh shit! I have.
That's like a cop. It's like a Miami cop thriller, like trying to find. Like it's very like washed digital, like look like Michael Mann ripoff vibe.
The DVD I was gonna say the DVD looks just like.
Well, I mean, the man made like 7 Tony Scott movies. Like,
that might be a Tony Scott
style.
I remember watching that movie. I think I was 12 or 13 and walking out of the theater. I was like, that movie fucking sucks.
I saw it in theaters too. And I just always remember being like, man, Denzel always has a hot wife, and that's all like we ever got like away from that movie. Like about that age, like 12, 13.
My pick was Jennifer Garner.
Yeah. Alias.
She has Alias, Peppermint, Elektra, Daredevil, and a few others, and she's just such a nice human being that I can't.
Tough, yeah.
No, yeah, I see like Charlize Theron or the lady
Charlize
that
has that intensity.
She looks like she would fuck me up. Yeah, she would legit fuck me up. But even this Saldana, I see some intensity behind her eyes. But like Gardner is just like,
Colombiana.
yeah, Gardner's just like, she's so sweet. She's like a very
So
nice
what is that?
person.
I kind of feel that way about John Cusack because I know he's like a crazy dude in real life who could fuck you up, but like you couldn't. I don't buy that when he's in a
Yeah,
movie.
his
Like I don't
persona
But
feel
like
that he
something
that
like Con Air,
in
he
a
played a
movie.
nerd. He played a nerd. Like he
Yeah,
was.
that's what I'm saying. Like I know like he's transitioned a little bit, and I know he does movies overseas where he plays a tough guy sometimes and stuff, and like
and then my second one before that, your guys, just in case somebody sees it, but I doubt it because maybe this is a hot take, but due to his god awful acting and like zero charisma at all, Gerard Butler, I've never
I
liked.
think that's a hot take, but I
I've
see it.
never.
it's a hot take. I'm 100% here for though. Like,
I never. Although Fallen,
even
and
even going back and watching 300, I'm like,
he's the weakest of it.
is he even good at this? Like,
He's the weakest.
He is the
Like,
Phantom of the Opera.
He is such a bad fucking actor. Like the other day, my wife
we were
was
talking about
like,
they're making a law-abiding citizen sequel, right? And
Wait, what?
Yeah, I heard they like are making a law, even though that movie's like over 10 years old and nobody gives a shit about it. I think they're
Fox
making
has better
another
things to do.
And like, I was just like, me and Sarah were just like, what does Gerard Butler even do?
dude, we were the other day we were like looking for something to watch, and I was like, just put the shittiest thing you can find, fuck it. And she hit play on The Bounty Hunter, like this action rom-com with Jennifer Aniston, and he is so fucking bad in that
Did he
movie.
make one
Like,
of those with Katherine
god-awful.
Heigl?
Yeah,
too,
The
at
Ugly
height
Truth.
of everybody hating her.
Yeah, it was The Ugly Truth. He had two of the same identical, like.
That's so funny.
Same year.
I have heard now. To be fair, I have heard that Den of Thieves is one of those movies that like
bad.
transcends being so bad that it's enjoyable again.
Geostorm. Geostorm was a ton of fun.
But in that one, the only
on Netflix too, or maybe it wasn't Netflix. What was the one where it wasn't Geostorm? Well, maybe it was Geostorm.
Hurricane Heist. He might not be in that one.
Is Geostorm the one where he's running away, he's trying to get his family to the bunker or whatever? Is that Geostorm?
That one in Greenland.
Well, there's
Greenland. That's the one I'm
Greenland.
thinking. Greenland was pretty. Was okay. He's not good in it, but it's fine movie.
There's Hurricane Heist also, which is which is another like ridiculous. You know what? He's not even in that. That's Toby Kebbell.
The same person.
Torn apart.
Any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I think staying with women, Megan Fox. I feel like there was a time where they were trying to throw her as an action, like to be badass action star, and I just never bought her. It's like you're hot and you have that dangerous thing to you, but like you don't play. She plays tough really poorly.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're just talking about how good the Thor movie looks, but I'll say Chris Hemsworth. Just start putting that dude in comedies. Like he's not built to be an action star. You can't sell him just because he's handsome with big muscles doesn't mean he's ready to. He's there for that.
I agree. I agree with that one.
Looks good. Looks good.
And then
Thor one is
funny. Just put him in some fucking comedies.
As a joke, I just wrote Kevin Smith's kid when you said people you couldn't buy as action stars.
I'll tell you what, this is no joke. We watched that Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and it sucks. It's horrible. But the thing that made Sarah the most upset about it is that his shitty daughter keeps putting people in chokeholds and choking people out, and she doesn't doesn't lock it in, and it looks real crappy. And Sarah was all mad that people
Sarah watches
her shitty arm or for her shitty rear naked choke.
And I love that because Sarah watches like fights too.
Yeah, she was just like, she's not even locking that in. She's just so bad. Like of all the things to hate about that movie, I just love that was the thing that bothered the most. Like that movie is garbage, but she was like honed right in on that one thing. Like it just shows her shitty, lazy acting, and she's a nepotism kid. She didn't even lock in that thing. Doesn't even make it look real.
You know who I want to see in an action movie? Like a fully female action movie? Christina Ricci.
That'd be kind of badass.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what my unpopular opinion is,
that's what
or
I thought
hot take?
Do some shit. She was in the new Matrix, but she was basically like in it for 5 minutes.
Speaking of speaking of the Fast and the Furious cast, I never,
Gal Gadot.
ever have. I'm just trying to make sure I get her name right.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Thought Michelle Rodriguez played action and tough well.
Really? Not even
Everyone
Resident.
thinks-
Not even the first Resident Evil.
You ever seen Girl Fight, dude?
I never saw it. I just in the Fast and Furious. She always
That's a real
makes
fucking movie.
She always makes me laugh with her tough acting.
I always thought she's pretty good in the first Resident Evil, and then like from there on, she's always doing that same thing. So I guess maybe it didn't like fly for me as much.
I don't know. That's just my like, hot take where it's like, whatever.
Topic.
We got another topic. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
so full of topic. We're so topic rich today.
So obviously, I've been spitting out some like really great topics the last couple episodes, and I thought I'd give my brain a break and just kind of regurgitate something that we brought up, I think, in earlier episodes, but we're obviously not as polished as we are now. So we figured.
That's how I would describe this show.
Was it a 3-movie marathon that you would group together just to show somebody, or like an animal?
No, it was just like you pair like a wine and cheese pairing. Like it doesn't.
I always thought of it like you get to run a theater for a weekend. You're gonna through a triple feature.
A common theme that runs through them, or a style.
There has to be something
mine
tying
don't have
them
a theme.
together.
I have a purpose.
Yeah, or a purpose. Like.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna jump in front of Brian, just give mine out, and it's like the perfect dad weekend, which I can't wait to do whenever I am able to pop out kids myself. But
you're gonna pop up kids?
No, but if I could, I would, dude.
Junior?
A junior.
Yeah, feminism.
I'm struggling on a third one right now, so I might just take one out of like off the shelf of his that doesn't necessarily match with these two. But I'm gonna start the weekend off with Great Outdoors. Gonna do Great Outdoors. John Candy, as a dad, we've talked about this before, I think for like a Father's Day episode last year or something. Best dads on film. He, to me, is the best dad on film. If I didn't have a dad at the time, that would be the dad I would think about having. And also, with that, you get Dan Aykroyd, you get Annette Bening. I don't know who plays his wife, but he always has the diamondest wives too. Shout out whoever that actress is; she's gorgeous. I would probably follow it up with more. This is tough because then do I do Plane, Trains, Automobile? It's like a holiday thing, or do I throw in like the one where he's like undercover cop that does a whole bunch of different. It's like his one.
Like Who's Harry Crumb?
Who's Harry Crumb? And then I'll let you guys decide what you would put in the middle of a John Candy marathon because it's a tough one to throw in there. And the last one is probably one of my favorite movies of all time, Summer Rental.
Okay, if you're already getting Summer Rental in there, then your middle one should be Uncle Buck, as far as I'm concerned. If you're gonna do your that's because I think Great Outdoors and Uncle Buck are the quintessential John Candy movies. Although I always every summer do Summer Rental and Great Outdoors. That's like a back to I always do that. It's like one of my 4th of July weekend.
Split Blu-ray of them both. I believe I have it. It's just my most comforting. I think I watched Summer Rental like last Sunday or something like that. Just had to throw it on and watch it. Then of course after that I saw Great Outdoors, do that on, and just went from there. But like,
you're a real Summer Rental head when you're watching the credits because you like the part with the pictures.
Yes,
you see all the pictures that the mom's taken, and they play the song. It's so good.
So good. And like little,
they stole that from
the boat montage. They play it again.
Yeah, it also has probably like my biggest crush ever on film, and Andy Green. Is that her name?
The chick from The Wizard.
No, that's not the chick from The Wizard. That's almost like that's Jenny Lewis, but this is the one from The Goonies. And
that's the same girl.
Lucas. It's not.
Frizzy redhead. That's the same girl.
Man, see, they're not all the same, Joe.
Bad.
Take it from
can vouch for me. They're all the same.
Who gives a fuck out of it? All right.
Anyway.
Yusuf, what you got?
Yeah, we're going to the 80s, guys. We're gonna put on some fake vampire teeth, and we're gonna eat some popcorn and Raisinets, and we're gonna watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off with this, quasi comedy
horror,
but then you know what? We're gonna take it up seriously, and then we're gonna go into the Lost Boys. There's some a little bit of element of, it's a little bit serious, but it has some comedy. And then you want to go home, not shit in your pants. But we're gonna do Fright Night, the original.
Hell yeah, Peter
It
Vincent.
has some good horror element, but it's also funny still.
I just want to step in real fast before you keep going, because they said if we're going back to the 80s, Buffy's from 1992.
Oh, that's
Get the fuck out of here.
What was your trivia thing earlier that we're equal now? We're like
balanced out.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. Those are all good picks. Actually, I've always I never got into the show, but I've always been a big fan of Buffy the movie. I think the movie's very solid. Plus, you got Ben Affleck in there real quick. He gets a little cameo.
I fucking love the guy that keeps trying to kill her and can't kill her.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Paul Rubin.
Paul Rubin, motherfucker. Yeah, I wanted to say Pee Wee, but I wanted to say actual name.
The Paul Rubin death scene is an all-time classic movie moment. It's so
Chrissy Swanson's doing some cool things today.
Yeah, but regardless, she was
actually.
I know.
She's a dime in the 1992, aka the late 80s.
She was Lasseter's wife in Psych, and then in the third movie where they called him, guess who is not invited back to be in that movie?
She and also didn't R.I.P. Jason Priestley.
Yeah.
R.I.P. and
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
Jesus Christ. He's still alive.
See, now you're down again. Now you're down again.
And also obviously the young David Arquette, but that might be. I want to pick that 17 times for every time we have a flyover, but then it just gets knocked out by something else. It won't be the next, but it's definitely on the list unless someone else takes it.
Yeah, I got another marathon, but Brian, what's up?
Oh, all right. So I wanted to do what I like to call.
Go ahead.
No, shut up. It's my turn. It's for me now. It's my time.
Your time.
It's my time down here. All right. This is my Planet Hollywood bottom barrel 3-piece. So I took we got Stallone, we got Schwarzenegger, and we got Bruce Willis, and I took what I consider to be their biggest failure from the peak of their career. So we got Stopper My Mom Will Shoot, Junior, and Hudson Hawk.
I love Hudson Hawk. Yes.
I kind of want. Could I come over and watch this?
This sounds like this is the Flyover 3-piece if there ever was one.
This sounds like a great time, but I need copious amounts of alcohol.
All I remember is him faking his death and in an ambulance in a gurney, and then he popping out with guns. And I was like, "Yeah, this movie is fucking awesome." And I'm 5 or 6.
Talking about vanity projects, that was Bruce Willis's. I could sing because he wanted to be a singer more than anything else.
Oh, Bruno. Poor Bruno lost his voice. That's people are gonna lament the acting we lost, but we're never gonna get that sequel Bruno record either. That's
well, we already got the return of Bruno, so is it Bruno rides?
Yeah, Bruno rides again, obviously.
Bruno rides again, okay.
Or they could have brought back Kid Bruno, the cartoon.
I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but there was a time, probably I'm gonna do this again, late '90s, mid '90s, late '90s, where HBO had 3.
The '80s.
Channels. 14, 15, and 16. 14 was your normal blockbusters. 15 was kind of the follow-ups. And 16 had a weird TMC kind of style to it. But there was one Bruce Willis movie that would show up at 1, 2 in the morning all the time on 16. What is the movie where
Color
it's
of the Night.
Constant sex scene? What?
Color of
Night.
Color of Night.
Yeah.
I never knew that was Bruce Willis. I'm not going to say what it did to me as a child.
Penis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the first one where he was in a pool and you see his dong or something. I remember that.
Floppy penis.
It's softcore porn, basically.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was literally where he had kind of tumbled down, and then Quentin put him in Pulp Fiction, and Pulp Fiction brought him back. He Die Hard. He had Die Hard, and then from Die Hard he like tumble, and then in '94, boom, he comes back, and then he's up again pretty much the rest of his career.
Yeah, he
till
does
we get to like
he does
the
Disney's The Kid.
mid-2000s.
But that's what fucks me up because like fucking Disney.
You're like, it's not Disney's The Kid.
I never like put together that was Bruce Willis. I always thought it was like a weird like.
Yeah, it's Spencer
I
Breslin, bro.
thought it was like the cable knockoff version of Bruce Willis. There's like DB Sweeney. DB Sweeney or something.
Well, I walked in on my mom and dad watching together like one morning, and I was like, "Hey, relax, hey," and I was like, "Oh," my dad's like, "Yeah, this is a great Bruce Willis movie," which says a lot about him. I was like, "That's Bruce Willis." He's like, "Yeah," and I was
like where TJ's tastes come from, all like slowly falls into place, you know.
Soft Bruce Willis penis floating in the water.
Never knew.
Joe.
Yeah, so I went with what do I want to spend a perfect Saturday just drinking beers and hanging out and experiencing 3 different types of emotions. I went with 3 different types of emotions, and I want to curate this more of like a symphony or a marathon, not a marathon. Oh yeah, a marathon, not a sprint.
I don't know.
So I think I wake up.
Lost.
Yeah, whatever. I wake up, crack open some morning drinks, put on Step Brothers, get some laughs, some people come over, enjoy everyone likes Step Brothers. Like there's something for everyone.
Very crowd pleaser, sure.
Then I want to get a little rowdy. I really want to like kick it in gear, but I want to like also, play more drink games, kind of go, what the fuck was that? So I'm going to throw in Crank on there.
That's a left turn.
Action movie.
Just really, really, throw a middle action movie, but I want to go like the extreme action.
Well, so if you don't have to watch, you can just look across the room every 5 minutes and be like, oh shit.
Exactly.
They're fucking in the street.
I'm keeping, my beer intake up, or whatever drink of choice is, or if you're smoking, you're gonna smoke, but you won't fall asleep. And then we're gonna later in the day after Crank, we're gonna take another turn. I'm pretty drunk by now. I want a nice solid cry, but like cheer before the day's over, and I'm going Miracle.
Oh, okay, all right.
Just really this is when I'm peak 12 beers
You've been
in,
ramping up, and now it's time to like get
focused.
your emotion on.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm ready just to root for
Kurt
Russell and cry.
Jack O'Callahan comes back after his knee injury. Gets playing the game. R.I.P. that guy because he killed himself.
That's true. So that's my marathon, which doesn't. The theme is just vibes. It's a pure start off really fun.
It's all about emotion. It's like you just like movies that make you feel something.
Yeah. So because I was like, I could do the Nick Cage marathon, which I've done a billion times,
there's all sorts of stuff you could have done.
But
my honorable mention was the kid with magic in sports games, Rookie of the Year, like Mike and Angels in the Outfield.
Okay.
Ooh, I think you know what? Can we sub out Angels in the Outfield because that's really boring.
I have one. I don't know if it counts though because it takes place on a baseball field. Also stars the same kid from Rookie of the Year, but a kid in King Arthur's Court.
I would say, Kid in King Arthur's Court, but the one I would switch out is Rookie of the Year because Rookie of the Year is not magical. That's an injury. That's like a physical thing.
But
there's no magic element to it.
I don't know, but it goes away though.
Baseball again.
Well, what's the team that threatens the Cubs all year?
This one's for mommy. Yeah.
So the Yankees?
The Mets.
No, that's the Mets, yeah.
Oh, the Mets.
The Yankees.
Oh, yeah. I remember it being on New York.
The Yankees wouldn't sign over their logo rights, I'm sure, to do that movie.
Shout out another great John Candy role where he plays the sport commentator.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he's
I think it's a John Hughes. I think that's a John Hughes produced movie.
Well, they do the thing where him and that one dude that you see in a bunch of like early '90s movies. They do the thing where they're flicking the mic back and forth, and one's like the lead, and one's a color communist, and he's like, "Look, when I flick it, you don't flick it back." Like that's one of my funny.
That's a fun movie. That's a fun baseball movie. Speaking of not fun, you guys want to move on to?
Stop it! Oh no, right.
Oh no, it's not the topic. Time to talk about the movie, guys.
Talking about the movie. We're talking about the movie.
Love The Matrix, dude.
Guys, I wanted to. Hey, TJ, maybe you didn't get the message, man. forget the Matrix. Okay, forget the Matrix.
Expect that. I'm sorry.
The
That was
hubris.
not scripted. I swear.
Yeah, the hubris of this box cover.
Yeah, dude. Brian, is that from a pull quote from at least a critic?
It's from WBAI. It doesn't even say what city that's in.
Forget the Matrix. Jesus
Ebert and
Christ.
Roper gave this 2 thumbs up. Just
Yeah,
so
Ebert gave it 3 out of 4.
Fucking Roper said spectacular gun battles and fight scenes. So
What is Scott
guys, we're
Mann
talking
say?
about if you don't know, we're talking about the early 2000s Christian Bale vehicle Equilibrium, which is a riff on Fahrenheit 451 and kind of 1984, and it's about a future society that survived a third world war, and their answer was that people's emotions are what cause all the problems and feelings are the issue. So everybody takes drugs all day, every day to suppress their emotions. And you have a special police force called the Graviton Cleric, which are like specially trained gun ninjas, but they also go around and seek out and burn art.
Because it invokes some.
They're the SS. They're the Gestapo. It's not very well.
That's why you should.
I mean, the logo is just the Nazi
NFTs.
symbol.
You should invest in NFTs now because Christian Bale cannot burn it.
You can't burn an NFT. Also, it'll always exist digitally, guys.
Also, they kill your animals.
Yeah, anything that gives you emotion. So it's like they don't even allow like love between families. Like your kids are actually weird little incels that live in your house and rat on you if you
That was so funny.
Yeah, the Hitler baby.
Little baby Hitlers and stuff all over the place, standing on the street corner pointing at people.
This felt like a precursor to like a very shitty YA movie. Like all those YA movies that came out after like Harry Potter, they had like the same fucking shitty premise, like a world where like something is off. Like there's this one thing.
Everything seems a utopia, but there's something going on. Like
and like I'm a big fan of books. Like I love books. I could pan over to like the pile that's just collecting dust over there. But I wouldn't die. I wouldn't die for a book though. Like Sean Bean, come on, baby, just grab that book.
Well, guys, I discovered.
What book was it though? You know,
a teacher of mine, after we read Fahrenheit 451, said, "Hey, there's this movie, and this is when I saw this as in class."
Nice.
And unfortunately, with our world events, I went, this would never be shown for just the extreme gun violence in class.
For a movie to watch in school, this is pretty rad, though.
No, it was cool. Yeah. It was cool. I did not
say about it. If you got to watch this in school, that's pretty dope.
It's like
it was cool
like
to watch
this?
in school. She I think she fast forwarded through some of like the major fight scene just to be like, see,
well, then so there was nothing left there.
Yeah, she was like, see, there's burning. And I do remember she dropped. I forget the name of the teacher, but she was like, yeah, and apparently the creator invented something called gun kata for the movie.
Okay. Well, how do we approach this? Should we talk about like? Because I actually don't think the plot of like emotion. Like Christian Bale is doing a really good job. He does some really good acting as a guy who like this is basically the perfect Christian Bale role. He's playing an emotionless psychopath who then slowly like.
No, it wasn't slow. But it wasn't slow. He was like having a full mental breakdown in the streets, and everybody's like, he clearly is taking the pill still. Everything is good, and he's like sweating and running.
Well, but you come to find out that was part of the plan, that they wanted him to go off his meds and naturally find his way to the resistance so that they could use him as a
problem with this movie isn't the acting. In
retrospect, it gives them leeway to let him act abnormally and not pay attention to it.
The problem with this movie isn't the acting. Everyone's acting well.
I mean,
it's the Mona Lisa scene. Because that Mona Lisa is too big.
I'll take that back. Tate Diggs sucks.
Super small.
If we did one episode of this where we just show no emotion, it might be really hard to get through. We could probably do it. Like, I don't see acting. I just see these like. This is my second time seeing this. I saw it like a really long time ago on like Netflix, like Netflix first started. Watched it again, but like, there's no acting. It's just reading off of it. You're supposed to make yourself look like you're reading off a teleprompter.
Right, because everybody's supposed to be emotionless.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah,
not. That's why I think like you do see Christian Bale doing something because like
Except his new
Space
partner, is like super cocky and he's always smiling. And I was like,
yeah,
he's
he's smirking and
showing
kind of
it.
making little jokes. I was like,
That's
you
weird.
wouldn't be making little jokes. There's no
No, that's
being so much
emotion.
thing as, and also
Yeah.
like there's all these turns of phrase that they always keep using. They're always like saying sorry and thank you, and it's like, why would you even bother with that? Like you in a society with no feeling and no emotion, you wouldn't
also-
bother with those kind of pleasantries, right? Like
And also,
This
grown
just
men
is like-
saying father really irked me a lot.
This is just like bad Minority Report at the end of the day for me.
That's
Yeah.
what the
And,
thing
and Minority Report is not that great too.
so
So
Minority Report's not good.
No, but that movie's like fine.
no, yeah, I like Minority Report, but it's like
This
It's
is
like
like this movie has an okay concept at its core. It's all right. It's interesting enough. It's just hijacked. It's just like it's like a dust off of an old concept. But sci-fi does that all the time, so I'm fine with that. I don't care about
Yeah.
the
that.
biggest insult to this movie I could say to it, and it's the biggest insult to any movie, is with all the action they crammed in there or the gunfights, it was just boring.
Yeah, that's my big thing about it is that like first of all, you say all the action. I feel like there's like 3 action sequences in the whole
Yeah.
movie.
but the last like 20 minutes is just action.
Action,
Yeah,
like
that's
gun,
fair.
like
That's
gun
fair.
work.
Just take that 20.
And he's so good at gun kata that he can stand in the middle of a room full of AK-47s and not get a single
Well,
gunshot.
Yusuf, did you listen to the movie's explanation of gun kata? The positions that they stand in make them less of a target, and like they're posed outside of the normal shot patterns for people. Even though
So
everybody would just immediately change their shot patterns as soon as gun kata was invented.
Yeah, you have a great script when one, it starts off with a PowerPoint presentation, and two, like every other scene is like a fucking exposition. Like, and we did this and this happened, and that this happened, right?
if you are someone who shoots a gun, which I've never shot a gun in my life, I know a little bit about just because of like you shoot center mass. Their
Turn
center
it silent.
mass never changes. It's always
It's always, no matter how you twist and turn, your center mass is pretty much where it is.
You're fucking stuck in one spot. Box.
Now, I will say, I liked some of the fun, like the edits when he was standing in a circle of dudes and he would be like,
That looked cool.
there's like some fun moments there where they like edit it really fast and
Well,
like, flashes are going off. I was
they're-
like, all right, that's fun. And
Well,
then when he flips the guns over and does the hammers and the little things come out of the end and he's hammering dudes' helmets faces in, that's fun too.
Well, their big stamp of this movie was we didn't use any wire work or CGs.
But you never jumped.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
just
used
nobody
trampolines
These
to do
type
any
of
jumps.
movies, and I understand, I guess, like the cost of what, not as making a movie, but like all these movies, like Minority Report and this movie, with the clips, like why aren't bullets just like somehow not even like bullets anymore at this point in time? With everything's been rearranged and changed, like why aren't guns? You don't need to reload ever. Just make it like that. I know, like movies, like the joke is like
because the whole thing, the reason that bullets, my rationale for why in the future you always still have bullets is because bullets are cheap. It's much cheaper to make bullets and shoot bullets at things than it is to make like energy plasma cannons, that probably like cost a lot of money.
Are you a scientist though? Have you
that critique that TJ just said, I've always had about the Matrix. Like they can bend the world, but they still have to reload their guns.
Cool sequence to see, like watching somebody drop a clip into a hand and then flip it up in the air and then somehow.
I don't know the thing where he throws out the little clips and they balance, and then he gets to them and he loads them. That's dope.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, just fucking have a gun that has either a banana clip with 170.
They got the little thing in his sleeve.
Yeah.
He's Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver.
Well, instead of a gun, though, it's just a clip. It just puts a new clip in
It was
his gun.
just a
And he's like,
regular clip.
Could you imagine having to be the
No,
also,
there's
at
some.
the very end, they introduce samurai swords out of nowhere. They're like, oh, yeah, also we do swords now.
Well, that's where
cool,
some of the
though.
dancings come to katana.
Well, you do see him practicing with the wood sticks earlier, him and Tay Diggs. And
But it was like a police baton, though. It wasn't like
yeah.
It wasn't
or
even like a
Tanta
wooden
or
sword.
whatever. Like,
It's
yeah,
getting some emotion back, but the scene where they were just killing puppies was just like, why is this here?
yeah.
Oh,
It's
my
rough.
wife was so
Also thought
pissed.
that is like, man, buddy, you've done this a million times. Like, you're the best shitty police officer in this city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You've killed thousands of people's pets.
yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, you're about to blow it all. You've got like, here's my thing: is like, you've got kids, and if you're just feeling emotion for like the first time, but your whole thing is like, I gotta protect this puppy. Like,
My
Just keep
wife
going.
said Christian Bale walked so John Wick could run.
yeah, I had that same thought too. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, John Wicked on those guys.
Yeah.
But I feel
I
like
think
Christian Bale just wanted to
everybody
kill his kid the whole movie.
Yeah, I think everybody started to suspect him when he rolled into town with a sticker that said "Who rescued who," and it was like a paw print.
My dog's a
I'm the
Democrat.
proud grandparent of a grand pet or something. Like,
My
The
dog's
worst
a
part about Christian
Republican.
Bale is he looks like that guy you invite over and you have like a golden retriever, like a bigger dog, and he's like, I love dogs, and the dog just goes up and he's like, he's the first guy to hey, get it away from me. And it's like, he's that guy to me.
I'll say this, even though I say that Christian Bale was fine at acting, one of the few movies where his accent was shining through in some of his very few dialogue he had. I could
yeah.
hear some of his Britishness.
Australian?
What
is
Or he's British.
He's
Is
British.
he British or is he Welsh?
Welsh. I think he's
Welsh.
Welsh.
Don't get
it
us.
It doesn't
rarely-
matter. It's fine.
He's very
British
very
and Welsh.
good at
They're all the
dialects.
same. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. It's fun. Like, you don't have to respect the difference between white people countries because they're all
he's
fucking
white.
the
I was
same.
saying, he's just white.
Just
Yeah,
white.
it's not like you mess
Is
with
it-
Korean and Japanese.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you didn't call. Yeah, that's you're not allowed to do that. But for white people, it's totally cool.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about
Sure.
white?
Nobody cares.
Is it me or all the stashes look like either a grandma's house or a garage sale that nobody wants to
Grandma's
attend?
house. I don't. It made no
Right,
sense.
a hoarder house. Like they all look like from the '90s, like the carpeting. And
It's
the,
like they bust into Emma Thompson's place and they're like, and they rip down her wall and you're like, you didn't save anything tasteful.
It's 2072 and like this stuff's been going on a while and people still just have like old VHS sets and fucking
It's also like, what is the cultural significance of saving ugly wallpaper inside this room? Like, what did you need to be in here? Oh, thank God you protected the sanctity of shag carpeting. We would never want to forget that.
They're pretty big with
And it was
Airbnb
so-
these days.
and the messaging was so fucking heavy-handed that it gets to a point where you're like, I get it, emotion, like we feel and our desires and we decide what we will feel.
What
And
if
that's
he-
what makes us human. We get it, dude. Shut the
What
fuck up already.
What if they found a Morbius poster? Because
yeah,
and
it
it's
would have
like
come up in to 2020.
it's like, whoa, this is art. This is what people used to do and watch, and it's fucking. It's like the Lethal Weapon 4 joke in Demolition Man, or
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
Weapon 3 joke.
This movie is not like horrible, but it got to a point where I was like,
It's
done.
definitely not as good as I remember.
It should be an hour and 5 minutes.
I mean, I'm not gonna edit it in, but if I was like a good editor, I would edit in when I said to you, this pick is gonna backfire. Because you said like, "Ooh, I haven't watched it, and I really want to watch it again." I was like, "Ooh, this pick could backfire," and I was like, "It really does." I feel like this movie could really backfire.
I can't wait to tell you about how I had to
It's
watch
been a
saw
long
it.
time since
I
I've
can't
seen
wait
it.
to tell
I
you.
feel like this movie takes itself very seriously.
Well, I can't wait to tell you.
Wasn't like I would say it aged better than a Boondock Saints, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But
Bad is just like not what I thought it would be because didn't remember it when I first saw it, but it's not like
You know,
what it was. I assumed.
you know what's
also
another
in the same way that like I don't think X2 holds up when you put it up against modern comic book movies. This doesn't hold up when you put it against more modern action movies because you're like, this needs like 2 more action beats in it at least.
Yeah.
Like
You know
are
what it-
missing. Like there's a lot of like dead space on the table where you could fit a couple more action beats in here.
You know
It's
what
a
it
little bit
reminds me?
slow.
You know what lane it fits in? It fits in with Gattaca too.
Yeah, I can see that. Or like
it's a
something like
slower-
The Island.
Yeah, it's like a
something
slower, headier,
Yeah.
like sci-fi film that like is presenting as action. But you're right. There's only a few beats in it, and it's more of a thinking man's movie. Even if that's a heavy fucking message, thinking
But
man's
also,
movie.
like, the message in it isn't that smart. It really is just like feel emotion. It's like, okay, that's all. That's all you have to say about that. Just it's better to feel
Art is
emotion, not-
important.
like, yeah, art is
I've
important.
always
It makes
like
you
it's
feel.
so fucking like self-flashing. Like if somebody's giving himself a
A
fellation.
piece of art where the message is art is important.
Yeah,
so
it's just like the
pretty
writer just
lame.
It's so fucking disingenuous.
So, do you guys want to go into?
No,
Sucking
can we talk about Dollar Store Helena Bonham Carter? Why did
Yeah.
he fall in love so instantly with her? I get it, like
Because he just hasn't felt anything, and he's also immediately feeling guilty about his wife. When you find out at the end that he was present when she got burned to death, that's pretty raw. Like,
yeah. Why does everybody get the same red robe to on his way to get
it's very. I like all the ceremony of like you're burning, they like put all this pomp and circumstance into it.
Just
because
fucking
this is-
throw her in the burner.
Sex
Get
is
it-
Throw her carcass in the fire and let's move on.
It's almost like this movie would have worked as a Tom Cruise vehicle.
Yeah, I mean he does a lot
Oh
of
shit! Him and Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah, both just dead eyes.
Yep, tons of dead eyes, and then
him
like
smelling
the sex scenes would
smelling
be
that ribbon.
incredible. Just
Him smelling the ribbon was so disturbing. I feel like he actually came on set, like he was acting so.
Well, he
much.
is method. I mean, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
guys,
Charlie's Angels. Who's the guy who rips their house?
Chris
This
Glover.
Crispin Glover, yeah, back to
No, it's not. It's
Yes,
the
it
guy
is.
Back to the Future.
Crispin
That's
Glover.
Crispin Glover.
Oh, I thought you said Christopher Plummer. I was like, that's not the guy.
Nope, not Christopher
Like,
Plummer.
that's not the guy.
Dude, you're like 2 points down. You're like you keep
Well-
going down.
Well, guys, I hope you like Equilibrium because guess what? It's a show on Hulu now.
What? It is?
No, but couldn't you see that?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
fuck you. I was like, oh.
Being like,
Here I was gonna go
Equilibrium.
check out the Equilibrium show.
Yeah,
Just
See
just
how
like
faithful they were in the source material.
There's no
Okay.
emotion in that.
The other thing I want to talk about before the end of the movie, or before we get into the ratings phase, is the finale with Angus McFadden as the bad guy, who was revealed to be
The
the bad guy,
The fight sequence that is
and the
almost
fight,
unwatchable.
the ultimate gun kata. Nothing is funnier to me. It's so weird because people seem to really like that Ghost Dog movie with
it's fine.
Nothing is sillier to me than somebody moving a gun like this and like whipping a gun around like it's a sword. That is so fucking stupid. That's why I love those the little TikToks you see of like it'll be some self-defense course with a guy showing you how to disarm something and they have a gun to your head and then they just cut to like it's heaven immediately. As soon as somebody tries it, it's just like, oh!
Those are so good.
The minute somebody tries to, they do a great Always Sunny on that too, where he's got the sword and he's trying to like, I'll serpentine. He's like, bang, bang, bang.
Hand of God situation.
It's like the slapping away of like, no, I'm about to like, okay, maybe try like, okay, you're slapping your hand away and you got the gun. Maybe try this. I don't know, man. Maybe
we're not the old school WWF figures where it's just a wire rubber. We're very articulated. You gotta move around.
Lots of joint movement, guys.
Bang, bang.
It's so funny. Although I do love when he cuts Tay Diggs' face off. I love the very dismissive way he handles Tay Diggs. Tay Diggs has been real cocky the whole movie, and he's coming up, and he's swaggering, trying not to
that's an emotion.
Eric, and it's like a 3-cut. It's like a real Kill Bill moment where he's like, it was missing brutal arterial spray, which would have been awesome. Anything like that in the movie, and then like all of a sudden Tay Diggs' neck is just like.
Raining
Ratings.
Rate it.
TJ.
I'm gonna give this probably the most middle of the road score that we've done, a very rookie one. This is like there's really something about Christian Bale's face. I don't know what to say about it.
Sky Mole.
But that thing bothers me so much. And every time Batman Begins, when they close up on his face, I'm just like, just
get it lasered off. You can
squeeze it, but nothing's gonna come out. So
You're rich, man. You don't have to have that. It's in your line of vision.
I'm gonna give it a 5 point, and I bet you he tells the camera, he's like, the camera's on this side, the good side, and he's like, no, the fuck over here to this side.
Get my
my
mole.
mole.
Respect.
I have glasses, and if there's like a speck in my line of vision, I can't.
I can't. So I give this 5.0. Hey, fucking remove it on his face. It's fine, but like I didn't like The Matrix. You guys all know this. I've said this a billion times. It's just kind of felt like obviously one of the ripoffs. Adding to the fact that I had so many teachers make me watch that Fahrenheit 451 from like the old one.
They did just redo that with Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
That
Jordan.
is unwatchable.
I heard. I was going to say
There's
that.
two movies you can show in high school, which I wanted to say earlier. The old Romeo and Juliet, where you get to see full-on Black Christmas movies, or Equilibrium would be pretty tight if I was in your
Yeah,
high
I was going to say, I would be happy to watch
Yeah.
Equilibrium.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah, I
when
don't
you
think
watch
they're
the
showing-
Robert
I
Redford
don't-
Great Gatsby, though.
I don't think they're showing that anymore.
All right, I'm gonna rate them, Brian, then Joe, and then Joe says his pick. Yeah, this movie is fine. 4.4 baby Hitlers. Brian.
4 baby Hitlers is pretty low for fine. I get this up to like 6.2. 6.2 dead puppies.
God damn it.
Yeah, the dead.
And it was so cute too. It was like
They were
keep
very
going.
cute puppies. And they got
he was
very,
just hanging out. It's like,
They got very shotgun murdered off camera at least.
Also, if you can't fucking have unlimited bullets, think of a very like civilized way to do that if you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
like
flamethrower.
Jesus.
Joe.
5. I'm right there with TJ with the 5.7.
You're not with TJ though. You're
smaller.
above.
Oh, I mean oversized Mona Lisas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge Mona Lisa.
Yeah, Mona Lisa's like this big.
Yeah,
it's so
big.
fucking tiny.
Mona Lisa's little.
This is bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All right.
fine. Very
All right,
fine.
Joe, tell us your pick then.
All right, so I'm going next week. It's going to be the 99th episode, or not next week. Next week.
Oh my gosh.
And so we're reaching the 100. So I wanted to go back to our favorite year on Flyover, 1999. I think it's where we have the most picks from.
It's a dope year. Great year for cinema.
And I wasn't sure if I was trying to be funny or not, like trying to make us suffer or not. But I think I'm going to go with the pick. And let's revisit South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Oh, okay. I'm actually
a classic. I
have not seen that in a while.
I know.
Yeah, I picked up the Blu-ray not too long ago. Very just excited to watch it.
Joe is going to be responsible for the Devil's song being stuck in my head for the next 2 weeks. Up there, up where the skies are blue.
I almost watched Simon's. I almost picked Simon Says, the Dennis Rodman vehicle, after watching the trailer, and then I was like, it can't be as good as the trailer.
The Dennis Rodman vehicle, he says. All right, where can people find you?
Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Come on.
Yeah, he fucking forgo the muscles from Brussels. He's like, the Dennis Rodman movie.
Famed Dane Cook.
Oh, he's like heavy in that too. Like watch the trailer. Like. Anyway, so we got South Park.
Where can people find you, Brian?
Oh, hey, you can find me on the Twitters at Hercules, and you can find me watching the world burn.
Joe.
You could find me with Brian on Twitter and watching the world burn at Shendinga1, and you could find me here at all the time on Flyover State of Fear. We got a full summer slate coming to you. And just enjoy.
I'm TJ. You're on Flyover State of Film. YouTube right now. Check me on Twitter at TJDex, or don't, because everyone will hate it. I'm glad you guys are here. Like, subscribe. That
TJ's Twitter feed is the most infuriating thing.
It's the best. It's the best.
It's so hard not to do it anymore. But anyway.
No, I like the people that respond to you and like, why do you do this? You have
I
such
love
bad taste.
he's got his own reply guy. He's got a couple
Yeah.
of them.
And you're like, hey man, that's the bit.
Got to do
Amen.
it.
Yeah, follow everybody, or Christian Bale will smash a light fixture on top of your fucking heads.
Can't believe we went the
Just
whole
fucking-
episode of talking about Christian Bale and never brought that up.
Get it off.
Bye.
Get it off.